I've seen Go Fish, I don't know, dozens of times. When I was a teenager and it was brand new, I would rent it on VHS, sneak into the house, and watch it when no one was home. I was drawn to it. It was a source of identification, fascination, envy, and shame. As soon as I returned it, I wanted to take it out again, but it felt wrong. It felt like I was being intrusive. It would take me weeks or months to build up the courage to do it. I snuck into the house because I was afraid of my parents, and I hesitated to get it out again because I was afraid of myself. Afraid I was some gross, lecherous boy getting his jollies watching women fall in love. I didn't have the words to describe myself, so it never occurred to me that the fascination, the pull I felt, was a yearning to be. 3 decades later, with the benefit of hindsight and 4 milligrams of sublingual estradiol daily, it feels a little ridiculous. Because horny straight boys do not sneak Go Fish into their house dozens of times. The film's major focus is sex and romance, and it has moments that are legitimately sexy, but it's not Skinamax. This is an earnest film, made up of poetry, shtick, magical realism.
What do you think you're doing?
It makes me sick.
Discourse about respectability and bi lesbians.
We expect queer filmmakers to take the responsibility to represent the entire community. I think that's really a lot to ask, anyway.
I know, but I just don't feel like we can withstand such negative representation from within our own ranks. You know what I mean?
If you sleep with men, I want to know it before I sleep with you.
So you don't have sex with women who've slept with men?
We're not talking about the past. We're talking about
What
now.
is the exact amount of time that has to pass before I regain my lesbian status? And way too much
I think you're
importance
making up a
here.
bunch of excuses to hide your desire for men. Why not just live your life the way you want and don't call yourself a lesbian?
Yeah, no one would care who you have sex with as long as you call yourself what you really are.
Why don't you all clue me in on what it is I am?
Discourse we're still having 30 years later, and we'll probably still be having 30 years from now. It's a film filled with ideas, arguments, words. Too many words, perhaps, and the cast of essentially amateur actors don't quite all have the range for all of those words, but that's part of what makes it alive. It's a film made about dykes, for dykes, by dykes, without apology. There's zero attempt to be palatable to anyone else. Like, most of the characters are kinda terrible. The lead, Max, is really shallow and immature. She starts out being really nasty to Eli, her love interest.
Friend of mine, I have one word for you. U-G-L-Y. She ain't got no alibi. She's ugly.
Max,
Her mother said she's ugly.
Call for it. Cut it out.
And Eli is right there. She can hear that, but she still wants to go out with Max. Eli is, like, really passive in ways that are really maddening, and just kind of lets her friends bully her to doing what they think is best, like getting a radically different haircut, or trying to get her to cheat on her partner, who most of them are also friends with.
Sweetie, it's me. Are you there? Call me when you get in. I have great news. I'm missing you today. Call me.
Is that your mom? It's my partner in Seattle.
But isn't really her partner because they haven't seen each other in a couple years and they're long distance, but Eli has just been too stuck in the rut to pull the plug, and it's just kind of messy, and like, this is achingly familiar. These are cis women in Chicago, but they might as well be trans femmes in Southeast Michigan. You know who you are. But I love that. I love that they're allowed to be people, to be selfish and gossipy and abrasive. I love that the main character is canonically really annoying.
Hey, I want you to reflect on what you just done. I want you to think about your symbolic violence
None of
towards
that
me.
women's studies 101 shit.
There's a scene where a character is outed to her mother by an ex-boyfriend, and she gets thrown out of the house and disowned.
It doesn't matter what I see anyway. It's what God sees. He's watching you. You're going to have to answer to him. If you leave now, forget it.
And she talks to Max about it, and Max has to make it about how mad she is, and fantasizing about cornering that guy in an alley.
Man, you know, I'd like to get that guy and get a big pack of dykes and corner him in an alley and make him beg each and every one of us not to kill him and then fucking kill him anyway. Evie, man, we should squash him. We should get revenge on him. I can't believe the nerve of him to get you kicked out of your own house.
Please, be quiet. You never know when to be quiet.
I'm sorry. What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
That guy must just have no fucking life.
Max, shut up, Max.
I'm sorry, Evie. I just can't get over what a dick he
Max,
is.
listen. I've just gotten kicked out of the house. My mom thinks I'm going...
The film is critical of Max because it loves her. It loves all of its characters. Not despite their foibles, but because of them. Because that's what love is. I think that's what makes the love story work. These two people learn to adore and find value in the things they find annoying about each other. Loving the other person for who they are, and not what you think you can turn them into. This film was really important to me. Maybe the only film that ever really was. And I was worried coming back to it now, as an adult, as a queer trans woman, that it wouldn't hold up, or that I would be alienated from it. That I would once again feel like I was intruding. But this still felt just as alive, and still resonated. I identify with it more intensely now, because I know people who are like these characters. I know people like Max. I know people like Kia. I know people like Daria.
Hey, I'm still free for Friday night, so whoever leaves the sexiest message can win a date with me.
Is that Daria on the answering machine?
Oh, you can also leave messages for Eli.
I am people like Daria. Daria is the most promiscuous character, and even when I was an extremely celibate teenager, Daria was the one I was drawn to. Daria was the one I wish I could be. Kind of like Lois and Dykes to Watch Out For. Both of these characters unapologetically live their lives in pursuit of pleasure. And fuck you if you're gonna give them shit about how they live their lives, especially if it's coming from within their own community. But there's another commonality shared by these characters that drew me to them when I first encountered them as a teenager and kind of made them, I don't know, role models? And that is that neither Lois nor Daria present in ways that are traditionally femme. And this might seem a little odd, because if you know anything about me, my presentation is very femme. But their relationship to their gender, the ways they choose to express who they are, defy expectations, be confrontational, it absolutely resonated. It's front and center, something they will not apologize for, hide, or mitigate. That was really powerful for me, and it still is. I describe myself as a queer trans woman, and for me, the queer and the trans are the most important parts. They're front and center, without apology, without being palatable or convenient. Definitely feeling a little vulnerable after this one, but I'm sure the comments are going to be very normal about a trans woman finding herself in the artist as lesbians. The thing about these comments is how normal they're going to be. I'm still working on the Games as Toys video. I expect to have it out by the end of July. Thank you.